One truism in life, my friend. When that Jones come down, be a motherfucker.
A blues for Nina.
Look, Nina, I just want to come up and talk. That's urgent like a motherfucker.
We all know that Love Jones is considered one of the best black romance movies of all time. The jazzy and soulful music combined with the dark and moody setting creates a whole vibe. To see artistic and intellectual black people hang out and love one another, it was so refreshing, especially compared to the other 90s romance movies. That's why making this video was hard for me, because the first time I watched this movie years ago, I was so distracted by the poetry and art of the movie that I didn't even realize all of the issues. Even though I still have a lot of love for this movie, and hell, it's in my top 10, I have to be honest. Nina and Darius should have never ended up together. Before I can expand on what I just said, let's rewind back to the beginning. The movie opens up with Nina moving her things out of an apartment she shared with her ex Marvin. When her friend Josie even brings up the idea of Marvin and Nina getting back together, she quickly shuts that down.
Never to make the same mistake twice. Get engaged? No, falling in love. Oh, shit. Because that shit is played out like an age. Hello?
Well, at the Poetry and Jazz Club, she meets Darius and they talk for a bit before he gets on stage. Here lies the first problem. While this scene is considered one of the best moments of the movie, I disagree because there was nothing romantic about it. I can't speak for most women, but if a man I just met named a poem after me and only talked about having sex with me, I would note that that's his only intention talking to me. It was clear that Nina knew this because when they were all talking outside of the club, she told him that there are so many other things to talk about. Things like love.
But you probably wouldn't know anything about that.
Look, don't get me wrong. There is nothing wrong with two consenting adults looking for something more casual, but that's not where this movie went. Also, I want to note that I think playing games and dating has been going on for decades, so their tumultuous relationship is no different. When they both run into each other at the record store, Nina makes it clear that she isn't interested, but he remains persistent. Me calling him persistent is the nice word because he's actually stalking her. I mean, he gets her address off of the check she left at the record store. That's crazy. I also want to make a point that attractiveness helps him with his stalkerish ways. If Darius was played by someone that looked like Big Ed, he would have got arrested before he even made it down the stairs. But whatever, I guess this is supposed to be romantic. Even when he delivered the records she ordered, he stood at her door looking in. She even told him that it's a bad time, but his being persistent is cute, so. After they go on their first date, when Nina insists that he can't come in, he says,
I just want to come up and talk.
of course that's not true, and they have sex. The next morning he makes her breakfast and Nina admits
Nothing happened that I didn't want to happen.
this movie makes it clear that their sexual attraction to each other is next level. That day when they're both talking to their friend, Darius makes it clear to Savon that it's just a physical thing, and Nina says the same thing to Josie.
We are just kicking it.
Just kicking it.
Okay, I'm loving this because they're both on the same page and the communication seems to be clear. When Nina's ex Marvin comes back and claims that he loves her and misses her, he gives her a ticket to New York to be with him. Even though Nina knows she has feelings for Darius, she wants to see if there's still something there with her and Marvin.
I need to know if I still love him or not.
That's okay for her to be confused about what she wants, but she should have communicated how she felt to Darius. But no, she decided to take the immature route and play games.
If he snaps, then you got him. And there's no need to go, is there? But if he tries to act all cool and shit, well then hey, you just gonna have to go. Teach his ass a lesson. Hello, do your thing, girl.
When Nina tells him, of course Darius tells her,
We just kicking it, right? So it's cool. I mean, go to New York, do whatever you have to do. Man, ain't got no ring on your finger.
Watching this scene is so frustrating because two adults are both afraid to admit their feelings for one another. I get why they did this because both don't want to look stupid catching feelings for the other, and we know in those situations 9 times out of 10 the other person never feels the same. When Darius is hanging out with his friend the next day, this is when the confusing part happens. Darius makes the claim that
I didn't think she was the one.
Huh? The whole first half of the movie, the only thing that he says in relation to Nina is their sex and her looks. Where or when did their love develop? Why wasn't it shown? Was he confusing lust with love? Even when he admitted that he thinks she's the one, all he brought up in that conversation was,
I mean, because if old boy was doing his job in the first place, why am I doing it?
I'm hit.
Why am I hitting it? Real deal is, I don't think she can.
is that all you have to offer, sir? I don't know, but I guess I'm supposed to believe that. I mean, Darius is supposed to be good with words, so I would have even took a poem about what makes him love Nina outside of sex, of course. But that was never shown. This also applies to Nina. She only mentions sex, and we as viewers never got to see what else they enjoyed about each other. That same night that Darius confesses that Nina might be the one, he gets with a girl at the bar, and this is why he decides to not see Nina off at the train station. I don't blame him for this though. It would be weird to say bye to a girl you supposedly love so she can be with another man. On a side note, am I the only one who feels bad for characters like her? Darius basically used her as a rebound because he was hurt over Nina. Movies like The Notebook and Love and Basketball have done this, and I always feel bad for those characters because they're being used. But anyways, back to Love Jones. From this point, them playing games got so much worse. In New York, Nina realizes that there's nothing left between her and Marvin and heads back to Chicago. It's clear that Nina really wanted to see Darius because as soon as she landed, she went to the nightclub he always frequents. He isn't there, but she claims she'll call him tomorrow. While at the bookstore, she sees Darius with that girl and decides not to contact him. Wood, who is Darius's friend, starts to show interest in Nina. He even goes as far as coming to her job. Nina agrees to go out with him, and I genuinely don't know why she did that. Was she actually interested in getting to know Wood, or was she doing this to try to hurt Darius? But maybe it could be a combination of both. What's so frustrating about watching this part of the movie was that it all could have been resolved with communication. After Darius waits outside with Nina to make sure she gets in the cab safely, this is when they both question each other about who else they've been dating. What kills me is that in the next scene they talk on the phone and don't even discuss how Nina was dating his friend and how he was seen cozying up with Lisa. They just glaze over it, and once again I have to use the word, but damn, their communication is trash. After they go on a date, we get a montage of them hanging out with each other more. I honestly wish this montage happened earlier in the movie because the first half seemed to happen so fast that we never got to see them grow closer outside of them having sex. This is why when Lisa calls that morning and Nina overhears, they once again don't communicate and things blow up. They seem to never discuss things thoroughly, and this creates a lack of trust in their relationship. Also, the way Nina attempts to start off these conversations are passive aggressive and defensive.
You don't trust me?
No, I don't.
By the time Nina is leaving for her new job, I'm exhausted as a viewer. We know that she comes back a year later and they have this happy ending. Darius finishes novels and even dedicates it to her. It says, "To the woman who helped me reach my level." And I'm like, how? Wait, when? What? It doesn't make sense, but I guess for movie's sake, we're supposed to believe it. This is when Nina recites her poem that she wrote about Darius. When they were talking outside in the rain, Darius apologizes and says he's over the past, but once again, they aren't talking about their issues in depth. They decide to be together in the end, but I don't think it'll work. Don't get me wrong, I think people can grow and change, but the fact that Darius is brushing away their past issues in this speech lets me know that their ending will always be the same.
And all that nonsense in the past, I don't give a shit about that anymore.
Throughout the whole movie, their relationship consisted of bad communication, playing games, and good sex, and that's why I don't think they'll last. Since this movie was grounded and realistic, I would have preferred that they had their final conversation, Nina gets in the car, and they go their separate ways. I would have loved to see a bittersweet ending like La La Land, but that's just me. I also want to note too before I end this video that trust me, I know that there have been plenty of stories where it's a friends with benefits situation and it turns into more, and I know that happens in the real world in real couples as well. But with this movie, I think with the lack of like character development, I felt like these characters were the same from beginning to end. So for me to believe that they could actually work and it's something so deep is just hard for me to believe. I want to say thank you for watching my video. Please like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate it. Thank you. Bye.
Say, baby, can I be your slave? I've got to admit, girl, you're the shit, girl. And I'm digging you like a grave. Now, do they call you daughter to the spinning pulsar, or maybe queen of 10,000 moons? Sister to the distant yet rising star. Is your name Yemi Ya?